It's Rabbi Susan Nanus and Tom Teicholz on another webisode, I don't know what we call it, segment of Culture Mavens. And we're so happy to see you, or for you to see us. We wish we could see you. And we have a lot of really interesting and cool cultural events to suggest. By the way, I got a lot of people asking or telling me they love the ballet recommendation.
Oh, good. Well, I'll have more next time, actually.
People love ballet.
I've got a bunch of new ones for next time.
Okay.
What's been so interesting about this pandemic year is that it has allowed me to experience things that every year in LA, I see them advertised, but I can't get off my butt to go see them. One example of that, there is an annual American Culture French Film Festival in LA. And you can go online and you have to pay to see the films, to stream them. And they've got a very wide assortment, comedies, dramas, even documentaries. And included among them is the France's nominee for the Academy Award, Two of Us, which is getting a lot of great buzz. It's two middle-aged women who've been in a long-term relationship and sort of their story. Check out the Colcoa Film Festival. I watched a French film last night. It was really charming because we can all use a laugh in these times. There's a new comedy on Amazon written by Kristen Wiig and her co-author of Bridesmaids, called Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. And Vista Del Mar in this is not the adoption agency on Motor Avenue, which many of us may be familiar with, right. The Jewish charity. Vista Del Mar is one of those towns on the west coast of Florida, which is home to middle-aged retirees. And these two women in their 40s go on an adventure, and it's really a film that is made for $2 and is really silly, but you will laugh and you will feel happy afterwards. So I recommend it.
I'll try that. I like Bridesmaids. That was a good laugh. So I'll check it out. I know we both watched The Dig, which I thought was lovely. Yeah. I like these gentle English movies. I need them sometimes. And it's the story of a woman who has these historic mounds that they know are all over the north of England. And they always suspect that they're archaeological tombs. She gets Ray Fiennes, plays these old sort of amateur archaeologist who's a fabulous man who digs up artifacts. And they uncover an amazing treasure from the Anglo-Saxon times. I don't want to give it away completely.
But it's a very charming movie with really great performances. It is not action-packed by any stretch of the imagination. It is like reading a cozy English between the wars tale.
Yes.
And Carey Mulligan is a phenomenal actress, and Ray Fiennes is a phenomenal actor. Lily James has a small part in it. Ben Cross, who you may remember from Chariots of Fire, is in it as well. It's a lovely thing to watch.
Right. And then I found something that I know a lot of people are going to want to watch because I think we all have an interest in the afterlife. And there's an incredible docu-series on Netflix called Surviving Death. And it's investigations and true story accounts of people having near-death experiences, reincarnation experiences. There's an episode about psychics and doctors talking about these near-death experiences where people die on the table in the hospital, and then can see everything. It's very scientific and serious.
So you find it credible because, my instinct is to really be very dismissive of all this.
You should watch it. Because it's hard to dismiss everything because doctors and scientists can't understand it, a lot of it, especially the reincarnation and the near-death experiences. The psychics, I am skeptical about a lot. But
unlike many culture shows, we have the advantage of having a rabbi on hand. So, Susan, tell us halachically, does any of this have a home in Judaism?
Well, I mean, halachically means law. But yeah, according to the Kabbalah, according to a lot of beliefs, the soul lives on. The Kabbalah definitely believes in reincarnation.
Right. And there is the world to come always, right?
Always the world to come, the next world. In Judaism, there definitely traditionally is a belief in an afterlife. So
the focus is on this life, but there is a belief on
the afterlife. But we all hope. We hope.
Okay. Well, again, not my interest, but I'll trust you on that. So there is a new show called Flack, which is about a sort of high-powered public relations agency in London starring Anna Paquin. And it's one of those things where, publicist is getting the stars out of the most terrible scandals, and it's completely trashy, but nonetheless entertaining to watch. I can't tell you that it would be as entertaining if we weren't so entertainment deprived. but I'm watching it.
Well,
and the other thing is that there is a comedy special hosted by Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany brings on comics who she champions, who do a set, and they're really funny.
Well, if we're going to talk about comedy, I'm going to have to make a plug for our adult Purim special called Shushan Stand Up, Night of Thousand Laughs. It's a combination of hilarious bits from Jewish comedians interspersed with our own congregants telling jokes, our own clergy telling jokes, the cantor doing some really funny things. It's pretty funny. So we hope you'll join us for that.
So maybe for Purim, we should have congregants dressing up virtually. That might be fun.
That might be fun. I mean, it might unfortunately be a little late for this year, but it's a great idea for next year.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll do one of those giant Zooms where we can have a few seconds of people in their most outrageous costumes.
Sounds like a good idea. In Israel, people always dress up on Purim and all different, not just Purim characters, but all different kinds.
Yeah.
So it feels kind of like a downer, but I want to talk about a couple books that I think are really interesting. There's a wonderful organization that we did programs with. People know it. It's called Writers Bloc Presents with Andrea Grossman. I've done programs with her. She gets incredible authors to come and speak. She had them in person with book signings. Now they're online. On February 24th, she's having an author named Philippe Sands talk about this new book called The Rat Line, The Exalted Life and Mysterious Death of a Nazi Fugitive. And the Rat Line is like the Underground Railroad, which was a good thing. This is the underground escape route for Nazis and who helped them. And he tracks one particular very vicious and wanted Nazi as he tries to evade capture. And it should be a very compelling discussion. And the other is Henry Louis Gates, who is such an amazing scholar, wrote a new book called The Black Church. This is a new book that's out and tracing 500 years ago when the slaves started being brought over and how they first had these just small gatherings and how it grew into this real source of hope and support for African Americans during slavery and after. There is a PBS series of the same book that just came out, so just wanted to talk about that. And I know you have a book.
Well, the book that I want to recommend, it's somewhat academic, called Goering's Man in Paris by John Petropoulos. And it's about the person who was the sort of art official who was involved in confiscating Jewish art, selling Jewish art, and who spent a couple of years in a French prison after the war, and then resumed his art trading career and continued to deal in what was most likely looted Jewish art until his death. And upon his death, they discovered this incredible collection he had, some of which also was clearly Jewish looted art. So it's a very interesting story about how all this sort of network continued to be in business during World War II and after World War II?
You know, a lot of people, when they think of the Jews in Europe, think about the shtetl and the Hasidim and, you know, the small villages. But European Jews were highly sophisticated. They were so cultured. They were some of the most cultured people in each country. They were the writers. They collected art. They created art. They were every Jewish family, you know, of middle class. Their children played an instrument. They played chess. They were taken to all kinds of cultural events, and it's a huge loss. And we really need to, I almost feel like we as Jews in America need to, you know, continue that pursuit of culture and education, you know, because it's really part of our identities.
I couldn't agree more.
And that is why we do Culture Mavens.
Exactly. Susan, anything else, or should we wrap it up?
I think we can wrap it up, and hope to see you at Purim.
Yes, and see you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.